This just in on HQ. We are hearing from Dolphins head coach Mike McDaniel. We're all wondering, is this the week that Tua is going to be back after dealing with a concussion, suffering his fourth documented concussion in the NFL, and that week 2 loss to the Bills. And as you can see here, the Dolphins offense has been struggling. The most consecutive games with 15 or fewer points. The Dolphins currently have 5 of those in 2024. Dolphins are 2-3, the fewest average points per game in all of the NFL. So here's more from Mike McDaniel on Tua's current status. Take a listen.
What's going on?
So, A, will Tua practice on Wednesday, and B, will Tua play on Sunday if he clears protocol this week?
He will. Our plan is to start him practicing on Wednesday, and the clearing doesn't come until after some of the activity. But we're obviously doing so in the hope of everything going well, so that he can play Sunday. But that will be to be determined.
Why is this the right week to bring him back, Mike?
Following specifically with concussions, but just in any injury in general, just following the directive and the opinion of medical experts. I think the reason why he's coming back now is because the medical experts have deemed it safe for him to return. So I don't mess with timelines or try to overcook or forecast. You lean on experts for matters of the career, and that's what we're doing here.
Mike, the decision to place him on injured reserve, did that also come from medical experts' recommendation, or was that more of a team being precautionary or erring on the side of caution with him?
Yeah, this would be a good one to tweet out. I feel like I've answered it like 6 times, but like the medical experts deemed that he would be best served with time, and that in terms of the roster and equating what that timeline looked like, it was a little unknown, and so when the brain's health will be determined by the time you make that decision. Each concussion's unique to its own, but that's why you have to really rely upon people that study the brain for a living, and that was the driving force.
Will Tua wear a Guardian cap when he returns?
That's a great question for Tua. I think, contrary to popular belief, it is, as it's collectively bargained, we aren't allowed to mandate things that aren't mandated in terms of their attire, and I think in terms of his career, we just have a high priority to pass forth information and knowledge, so that decisions can be made with the full breadth of information. And I think that I always preach that it is the individual player's determination if they want to do so, and so what you don't do is skirt the information gathering process, and you make sure they're well informed and they have access to all the available options, which is supremely important to me. And then players, and when they're making choices that relate to their play and their careers, as it's negotiated in the collective bargaining agreement, I appreciate the individual determination for how they play. So, good question for him.
Do you have a sense of who his backup will be this week?
Not as of yet. It's to be determined. Some information still need to be gathered, and I heard you guys didn't want to wait till like 6 or 7 tonight for this press conference. So,
is your sense that Snoop's injury might be season-ending, or
my sense is I have no senses about it yet. It went from all right. We'll keep you updated and abreast on whether or not he can come back come back into the game to he will not be coming back into the game. So, there's still some stuff going on with the evaluation process, and I'll make my determination on that with alongside the coaching staff and Chris. Probably that'll probably come tomorrow, where I'm kind of making those thoughts out.
Mike, if I remember this correctly, the last time Tua came back from a concussion in 2022, in that first game, there was a moment where he lowered his shoulder and kind of initiated contact at the end of the run. Comes back to the sideline, is like, sorry, coach, I needed that one. What's the messaging to him or from you to him this time around about protecting himself in situations like that?
I think he has a better understanding of his responsibility towards the entire organization at this point. My answer would be you don't need that one this time around. You don't need to, and I think I think it's been eye-opening too for him, where he was at a place where he really felt comfortable attacking the nuances of the game, and he's just in a different place as far as a leader of this team, and feels tremendous responsibility to do everything in his power to be on the field. So part of that is protecting yourself. Part of that comes I've got to make sure that he's properly protected, but at the same time, I can't control everything, and he has to be able to protect himself for him to, regardless of the first down conversion that he's trying to get, for him to be on the field with his team, that he needs to be smart about how he engages in contact.
Just kind of follow up on what Marcel had asked. I know this offseason he talked about losing weight and partial to have more mobility. Does that plan change at all the mobile aspect of his game?
No, I think that's it's more about extending plays and being able to move within the pocket for that extra hitch or two. It's not really like a quarterback run game type thought process, but for him, it's I think one of the reasons why he was so this time around, he was so diligent and deliberate on excessive running and staying in shape to keep that what he feels, and I think I would agree, is a competitive advantage for his game, is being able to move his body around in the best way that allows him to make the plays that he's capable of making. So I wouldn't say that from a schematic standpoint things would alter that much. I think that comes into making sure that the protection plans are right and the hot routes that are within the concept are right, and that they're going to be good for him to get the ball out, and then him being smart and utilizing his football IQ and his acumen as the quarterback of the team, and be able to protect himself with his skills as the team needs him to.
Like, obviously, the night he had the concussion was a very emotional night all the way around for this team. So what does it mean for you to have Tua back?
I think it means, he's anytime you have a, teammates that you grow together with, I think it feels a little off when, he's not in the mix as much, and he's not, not calling plays for him. So, I think it's meaningful for the whole team, considering he's been captain every year I've been here, but has completely, I can't remember the number, but he's continued to grow how many votes he gets, and he's really the across the board, I think everyone would say that he's the leader of this team. So I think that's a powerful thing, that his team will appreciate. But I think it's important to state and to what I just finished talking to the team about is that he's not the savior either. There's a lot of things that have to be looked at from an individual's game and all three phases to get better because it's not all right. Tua's here. He's going to fix the issues. Everyone has to be on board to do their part into getting results that we want.
Mike, Tyreek seemed a little.
If you're just joining us here on CBS Sports HQ, that is Dolphins head coach Mike McDaniel giving an update on Tua. Tua will practice on Wednesday as he looks to clear concussion protocol, meaning that if all goes well, we could see him play on Sunday against the Cardinals. You see the schedule here. Miami currently 2-4 on the season, looking to bounce back after that loss in Week 7 to the Colts, and then following Tua's potential coming back there against the Cardinals, they have a rematch with the Bills. But again, Tua Tagovailoa set to practice on Wednesday, and we could possibly see him come back from being out because of a concussion in Week 8 against the Cardinals. Let's welcome in our lead NFL insider, Jonathan Jones, to discuss. And JJ, a lot was said there from Mike McDaniel. A lot of takeaways, a lot that he wanted to leave to the medical experts. But what was your biggest takeaway here as we're preparing to see Tua come back? He's missed the last 4 games and play on Sunday against the Cardinals.
Yeah, overwhelmingly happy for Tua that he is healthy enough to be in this position, right? And it became very clear very early on that retirement was not going to be on the table very long for him, that he did want to get back and play. Is it possible, rather likely, that he would have been able to pass concussion protocol before this week? Things that I've heard around the league would indicate yes, but the Dolphins placed him on injured reserve after that game against the Buffalo Bills to not have to worry about timelines, understanding the sensitivity around head injuries, especially his past with concussions and the importance of that injury as well as the quarterback position. So, look, he will very, very likely pass concussion protocol this week, and he will so long as there are no setbacks. You have to practice in order to pass the protocol. They have to see you go out there on the field, and then they test you against your baseline, and then that is when they can pass you through protocol. And so I know that that's a little bit of a technicality, but for folks who may not necessarily know the ins and outs of the 5-step return to play concussion protocol in the NFL, that's why we're saying he has not yet passed protocol, because he just simply cannot when you are on injured reserve for the last 5 calendar weeks, 4 games, because there was a bye week in there. So the expectation is he'll practice on Wednesday. He will then move to the next step, the final step of the concussion protocol on Thursday, and he will be able to play and start for the Dolphins on Sunday.
JJ, we certainly appreciated joining us here with that news coming into HQ that Tua is going to practice on Wednesday. Head coach Mike McDaniel seeming hopeful that Tua is going to get the start on Sunday and play against the Cardinals. Getting a look at Miami's schedule, again, they are 2-4 on the season. Tua has been on IR. He has missed the past 4 games because of that concussion, and again, looking to come back in Week 8 against the Cardinals before they face the Bills, the Rams on Monday night, the Raiders, and then the Patriots in Week 12.